So here you have the area and perimeter of circles, sectors and compound circles. So shapes maybe with circles taken out or circles added in, as in this question here, okay? So they're compound circles. Now, what we're asked to do here is to find the area, length of the arc and perimeter of each of the following sectors, okay? So in part 1, the radius is 10, the angle is 36, and in this one we'll use 22/7, okay? So there's just a few questions here for you. And it doesn't really matter which way we use it, but we know that the area of a full circle is pi r squared, okay? But that's for a full circle. Alright, so this is far from a full circle, but we're going to have pi r squared multiplied by 36 out of 360 degrees, okay? Because there's 360 degrees in a full circle. So that's going to give me 3.14 multiplied by, the radius is 10 squared, multiplied by 36 over 360. And use your calculator so you don't go wrong. So 36 over 360 is equal to 31.4, and it's in centimeters squared. Okay, so that's the area of the arc. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is to find the length of the arc. So the length or circumference of the arc will be 2 pi r, but that's for a full circle. Multiply that by 36 out of 360 again, because we only want a portion of the circle. So 2 times 3.14, the radius is 10, multiply that by 36 over 360, and what do we get? So 2 times 3.14, the radius is 10, and multiply that by 36 over 360, and you get 6.28 centimeters. Okay, so that's the centimeters. So we've done the area, the length of the arc, and now we want to find the perimeter. So how are we going to find the perimeter? So perimeter then is to add all the sides. So we'll start with 10 plus 6.28 for the length of the arc, plus, and the radius will be 10 again, which will be equal to 26.28 centimeters. So that's an example there for you now of that one. Okay, now question part 3 here. We want to find the area, length of, and each of the following, okay? So these circles are the same, alright? So this is 14, so this will be 14, and 14 also, because it's the radius of a circle, alright? So if we take out, that's a quarter of a circle, because it's 90 degrees. Okay, so find the area of that circle will be equal to pi r squared multiplied by 90 over 360, which is a quarter. Okay, so in this case we'll use 22/7 because pi is 22/7. The radius is 14 squared multiplied by 90 over 360. Okay, so your calculators again, 22/7 multiplied by 14 squared and multiply that by, which gives you 154 centimeters squared. So this circle here, or quarter of a circle, is 154 centimeters squared. So this one will be 154 centimeters squared also. Okay? Now what we're going to do is find the length of the arc. So the length will be, again the formula is 2 pi r, multiply that by the sector we want, which is 90 degrees out of 360, because it's a right angle, so 90 degrees. So 2 times 22 over 7, the radius is 14 again, multiply by 90 over 360 on your calculator. So again, 2 times 22 over 7, multiply that by the radius, which is 14, and multiply that then by 90 over 360, and you get 22 centimeters. Okay, so that's 22 centimeters. Now, if we want to find in the perimeter of this shape, so I'll do it down at the bottom, perimeter then, we're going to add up all the sides. So we start here, and we have 20 plus. Now the bottom is going to be the full length across the top. So 20 and 14 is 34, and 14 is 48, plus 20 again, plus we know the length of that arc is 22, plus 20 up here, plus the length of this arc here is 22 again. Add all those up, 68, 88, 110, 130, 152 centimeters. Okay, for perimeter. So that gives you an idea about circles. Now, a circular swimming pool has a radius of 15. So if you could think of a swimming pool is a circle, and the radius then, somewhere here, the radius, we say, is 15 meters. It is surrounded by a pad. So inside, it is surrounded by this pad. So it's not going to look perfect. So something like this, just to demonstrate. So there's a pad, and the width of the pad is 1.5 meters. So that's a pad. And this is a pool. So we want to find the area of the pad. So we're going to find the area of the big circle. Big circle, which includes the pad, which is pi r squared. So we'll use 22 over 7, it tells us in the question, 22 over 7. And the radius is going to be 15 plus 1.5 squared. So 22 over 7 multiplied by 16.5 squared. So use your calculator again. 22 over 7 multiplied by, which gives you 855.64 meters squared. So that's the total area. Now I'm only going to find the area of the pool, which is just pi r squared. 22 over 7 multiplied by the radius of the pool is 15 squared. So 22 over 7 multiplied by 15 squared gives me 707.14 meters squared. So the area of the pad will be equal to, take these two away, 855.64 minus 707.14. Use your calculator. 855.64 minus 707.14 7.14 leaves you with 148.5 meters squared. So that there is the area of the path. Okay? Now, the cost of paving the path. So I'm just going to move this up a little bit. So part 2 then, the cost, question mark. So how are we going to find the cost? Well, it's €5.50 per meter squared. So 148.5 multiplied by €5.50, which will give me, use your calculator again, €816.75. Okay, so that's another very good question on these circles for you, and the type of question that you might be asked. Okay, and finally then, this one is a tricky little question for you. Okay, and think about that one, and I'll leave it with you there, and I'll put up the solution later on. Is that okay?